$50,000 in debt, a totaled car, a credit score of 540, and a paycheck that barely covers gas or groceries, not both. This person is asking one question. Can I come back from this? The answer might surprise you. Hey Profiteer, Eric here. Welcome back to Real Money Stories. Today's post comes from the povertyfinance subreddit, and it's one of those situations where everything seems to hit at once. Let's get into it. This one comes from someone who's carrying debt across 5 or 6 different categories, dealing with a totaled car, and about to move in with family before a surgery. Let me read it to you in their own words. It feels like I'm never going to get out of this hole, get back on my feet. I should have finished college and actually done something with my life. Current situation: credit card number 1, $2,840. Credit card number 2, $2,601. Car $24,000 owed on it, but totaled it. Payout was only going to be $22,000. Assume they are going to repo it because it was not licensed before it got wrecked, and I can't afford the $3,000 to license it now post-wreck. Student loans $12,000. Trying to enroll again and put these in deferment. I get TA through the Army and GI Bill money, but can't afford to purchase transcripts right now. Personal loan $2,000. Medical debt not even a clue, but upwards of $7,000. Most is in collections. Credit score of 540. I'm moving in with family because I'm broke and also because I'm getting surgery. They can't loan me money but can at least provide a roof over my head. I'm working full-time but still have to choose between gas or groceries every paycheck. Only have 2 more paychecks until I leave and move home. I'm terrified I'll never recover from any of this. I just want to feel like I can breathe again and not have to worry about how I'm going to eat every week. I've tried the food pantries. They literally gave me yogurts, a bundle of parsley, and a block of cheese. I don't know if it's just this area or what, but I can't exactly live off of that. I make $19.50 an hour. I should be fine living off of that. Okay, first thing I want to say reading this. This person is not lazy. They're working full-time. They're earning $19.50 an hour, which comes out to about $40,500 a year before taxes. That's not nothing. And they served in the military. They have GI Bill benefits on the table right now. This is someone who's done a lot of things right and had a bunch of bad breaks stack up all at once. The car situation alone would knock most people sideways. I've been writing about money for over a decade, and the pattern I keep seeing in posts like this is that the person thinks they're uniquely broken. They're not. What they're actually experiencing is a cash flow crisis layered on top of accumulated debt, and those are solvable problems. Different problems, but solvable. So here's what I'd probably do in their shoes. Let me break this into a few pieces. The first framework is what I call the triage rule. When you're choosing between gas and groceries, you're in financial triage. And in triage, you don't worry about the long game. You stabilize. That means food, shelter, transportation, and essential medical care come before every single debt payment. Everyone. If a credit card company has to wait, they wait. The original poster is already doing the smartest possible thing by moving in with family. That's not failure. That's strategy. Eliminating rent from your monthly expenses is the single biggest lever most people can pull. For someone making $19.50 an hour, cutting housing costs could free up $800, $1,000, maybe $1,200 a month depending on what they're paying now. That is life-changing money. The second thing I'd focus on is what I call the GI Bill unlock. And this is the part of the post that actually got me excited because the original poster buried the most powerful asset they have in the middle of a paragraph. They have GI Bill benefits and tuition assistance through the Army. The GI Bill doesn't just cover tuition. It pays a monthly housing allowance, a books and supplies stipend, and it covers tuition at public universities dollar for dollar. We're talking potentially $1,500 or $2,000 a month in housing allowance alone, depending on the ZIP code of the school. And the original poster mentioned they can't afford transcripts right now. Most transcript offices charge $10, maybe $25. Some schools will waive the fee if you explain hardship. That tiny barrier is blocking a pipeline worth tens of thousands of dollars in benefits. I'd call the registrar's office Monday morning, explain the situation, and ask about a fee waiver or a payment plan. One phone call. And here's where the student loan piece gets clever. If the original poster re-enrolls at least half-time, those $12,000 in student loans go into in-school deferment, no payments required while enrolled. That's not forgiveness, but it stops the bleeding and frees up whatever monthly payment they're making right now. Now, the obvious move with the debt is attacking it all at once. But that's the wrong answer, and here's why. The original poster has roughly $50,000 in total debt across 6 categories, and not all of that debt is created equal. This is where the debt priority matrix matters. Some of this debt is actively dangerous. Some of it is just sitting around being annoying. The car situation is the most urgent. They owe $24,000, the insurance payout is $22,000, and there's a potential repo because the car wasn't licensed. That $2,000 gap between what's owed and what insurance pays is called a deficiency balance. If the car gets repossessed and sold at auction, that gap could balloon because auction prices are typically way below market value. So the original poster needs to work with the insurance company and the lender right now before the repo happens. Call the lender, explain the situation, ask if the $22,000 payout can be applied directly, and whether they'll negotiate on the remaining balance. Lenders would rather settle for a small loss than eat the cost of a repo. That's leverage that the original poster has right now, and it disappears the moment the car gets towed. The medical debt, upwards of $7,000 in collections, is actually the least urgent thing on this list. And I know that sounds backwards, but here's the mechanism. Medical debt in collections has already hit the credit report. The damage is done, and medical debt is the most negotiable category of debt in America. Hospitals and collection agencies routinely settle for 20 or 40 cents on the dollar. A $7,000 medical balance might settle for $2,000 or less. But that negotiation happens later, when the original poster has cash and stability. Not now. The credit card's $2,840 and $2,601, that's $5,441 combined. At typical credit card interest rates of 24 or 29%, these are expensive, but they're manageable amounts. Once housing is eliminated and GI Bill money starts flowing, these can be attacked using the debt avalanche method. Pay minimums on everything, throw all extra cash at whichever card has the higher interest rate, then roll that payment into the next one. I'd knock out that $2,000 personal loan early if the interest rate is lower than the card's, just for the psychological win of eliminating an entire account. Then go right back and hit the avalanche. Just a friendly reminder that this episode is intended for entertainment and education purposes only and should not be considered financial or legal advice. Talk with a qualified financial advisor about your specific situation, especially with military benefits involved. The VA and organizations like the XY Planning Network can connect you with fee-only fiduciary advisors who won't try selling you products. Now let me talk about the income side, because the original poster said something that stuck with me. I make $19.50 an hour. I should be fine living off of that. And they're right. $19.50 an hour should be livable. The problem isn't the hourly rate. The problem is that debt payments are eating the paycheck before it hits the checking account. Once the original poster moves home and eliminates rent, that $19.50 starts behaving like $19.50 again. And here's the thing about earning. Your earning potential is unlimited. The original poster has military experience, which is valuable in dozens of industries. If they re-enroll in school with GI Bill and tuition assistance covering the cost, they're investing in a credential that raises that hourly rate permanently. Going from $19.50 up to $28 or $30 an hour changes the entire math. On the food situation, I hear the frustration about the food pantry. Yogurt, parsley, and a block of cheese is not a meal plan, but food pantries vary wildly by location and by day. I'd check 211, org, which is the National Social Services Directory, or call 211 on the phone. They can point you toward additional pantries, community meals, SNAP benefits if you qualify, and sometimes even utility assistance programs. As a veteran, organizations like the Armed Services, YMCA, and local VA centers can connect you with emergency food resources. 15 minutes of phone calls could change what the next month looks like. Okay, so let me map this out in order. Step 1 right now, call the auto lender and the insurance company. Get the payout applied. Negotiate the deficiency balance before a repo happens. Step 2, call the registrar about transcript fees, explore a waiver. Step 3, move home, stabilize, breathe. Step 4, re-enroll and activate GI Bill benefits. Step 5, with rent gone and GI Bill flowing, start the debt avalanche on those credit cards and the personal loan. Step 6, once you have cash reserves, negotiate the medical debt in collections for a fraction of what's owed. Step 7, keep earning, keep building, and let time heal that credit score. A 540 is not permanent, it's a snapshot. It always starts with the first dollar, and for this person, the first dollar is the one they stop spending on rent when they move home. The specific question was, is there any way to come back from this? $50,000 in debt, a totaled car, a 540 credit score, choosing between gas and groceries. And the answer is yes, not because $50,000 is small, it's not, but because the tools already exist. Military benefits worth tens of thousands, a family willing to share a roof, a full-time job, and the fact that this person sat down, listed every debt, and asked for help, that's not someone who's given up, that's someone who's about to turn a corner. The principle here isn't about $50,000 or $19.50 an hour. It's that recovery doesn't start when the debt hits zero. It starts the moment you stop the bleeding and build a plan. That applies whether you owe $5,000 or $500,000. If you found this helpful, share it with someone dealing with the same thing. Until next time, stay profitable.